And Donald Trump is just days away from assuming the American presidency. His arrival is being met with caution by one of America's closest allies. The president-elect shocked Canada back in November when he said that he would impose a 25% tariff on imports from Canada. Mitch McCann takes a look at whether Mr. Trump is offering genuine policy or simply engaging in rhetoric.
Members of our national
policy by social media became a hallmark of Donald Trump's first term in office, but a post 3 weeks after winning back the White House still took many by surprise. I will sign all necessary documents to charge Mexico and Canada a 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States, Mr. Trump announced on Truth Social. The post set off alarm bells across the northern border, and one analyst is worried for Canada's currency.
The number one impact is that the currency markets are extraordinarily dynamic. They operate in real time. They respond instantaneously. There's no lag. There's no 2-week lag or 6 months lag like tariffs. The currency markets will respond instantly the moment President Trump signs with his pen those tariffs.
Last year, Canada exported around $410 billion worth of goods to the United States. That accounted for 77% of the Commonwealth nation's total exports. It sent gas, cars, car parts, steel, lumber, grain and more to its southern neighbours. Canadian professor Ian Lee says up to 2 million jobs rely on its export industry, and that if Mr. Trump implements his proposed tariffs, the Canadian dollar will rapidly depreciate. He adds that when those tariffs are then passed on to American importers and consumers, they'll begin to seek alternatives.
Those companies in the States that are importing our stuff, our goods, will immediately seek alternative suppliers. They will turn to Australia, they'll turn to New Zealand, they'll turn to China, they'll turn to Europe, they'll turn to countries that are not subject to the Trump tariffs.
Donald Trump campaigned on a policy of eliminating illegal immigration, and that is the basis for his economic threats against Canada and Mexico, which he believes have allowed the problem to worsen. It's reported that US border agents made more than 23,000 arrests at the northern border between October 2023 and September 2024. However, the numbers are much higher at the southern border, where agents arrested 250,000 people in December 2023 alone. Donald Trump plans to target nations like China, Canada and Mexico with tariffs when he takes office, and one former US ambassador believes it will leave other nations, including US partners, concerned and wondering who's next. Gordon Gray, once ambassador to Tunisia, now a professor, says the world will be watching for Washington to make a move.
So this kind of bombastic rhetoric, unfortunately, causes great concerns, raises great questions in the minds of traditional friends and partners, and they're going to do the logical things to pursue their own self-interests.
Ambassador Gray is hopeful Donald Trump has what he calls more sober advisors to walk back his plans.
When I say that, I don't anticipate that there would that no tariffs would be imposed at all, but I think that they might be a little bit more targeted than Trump's rhetoric has suggested to this point.
Ian Lee believes that Canada does have some negotiating power. A third of its economy has protections from outside competition, including sectors such as air transportation, telecommunications and broadcasting. It's something Professor Lee says the US might be interested in changing.
And so I think if we're willing to give up our sacred cows in Canada, which are these protected industries that exclude American companies, I think we can come to a deal with Mr. Trump and have those pernicious tariffs removed.
Even before Donald Trump takes office, the tariff debate has already had implications. It was one of the crises facing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau before his resignation. But trade and tariffs mightn't be the only problems Canada has looming with its neighbour. Mr. Trump has continued to taunt Canadians about becoming America's 51st state, even having referred to Trudeau as its governor. Trump ally Elon Musk presents another challenge too, recently involving himself in the politics of foreign nations, including Canada, where he's been supporting opposition and conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, the man tipped to become Canada's next Prime Minister. In just a few days, we'll know how serious Donald Trump really is about an economic attack on Canada in order to secure his border, as well as his suggestions that he wants to expand into not just Canada, but also Greenland and take control of the Panama Canal. One thing is for certain, the world will be watching on with interest and perhaps caution too. Mitch McCann, CNA, New York.